And welcome to episode 18 of It's Beer O'Clock with Bierski with special guest Danizard. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing well, Bierski. Thanks for having me on for chatting up in Discord and choosing to have someone on camera who chooses to have Charizard in their name.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Listen, we represent all shapes, sizes, and types. Even if Charizard is your favorite, we will have you on this channel. How's everything going in 2024 for you? How's collecting, selling, buying, trading? How's it all going?
Things are going pretty well, and actually, Charizard is not my favorite. I watched your last episode with was that Jake Smith who was on?
Yes.
And I think he had his Weedle or his what is that new one? The Wiglet out. So I decided to bring my favorite Pokemon.
Oh, Haunter, right on, man.
So pulling out the plushie. I'm doing well, man. 2024 has been a year. 2023 was crazy in the hobby. So yeah, enjoying it, enjoying buying, selling, doing a few different things. So
2023 was big for you? Big year for Danizard?
Yeah, I mean, 2022, I pretty much started selling. I went full collector mode. Let's get into ripping packs, getting into the hobby. Brilliant Stars was really the set that I went to a pre-release and got hooked, I guess. And then eventually I was like, you got to find another way to support this because coming out of the bank's just not sustainable long term. So got in figuring out how to sell through TCG Player, through other methods, and ended up, 2023 was a flipping year. Going into 2024 right now, kind of taking a step back, trying to enjoy the hobby a little bit more and make it less of a business side hustle and more of like a game that may have some money attached to it. So switching it up a bit.
You said TCG Player. Are you more of a eBay TCG Player seller? Which platform do you prefer?
Yeah, I'm primary eBay now.
Okay.
Early on when I got started, it was primarily TCG Player, picking out the most mint cards to send off to someone because I wanted to make sure they gave me good feedback and before I got into grading. And then when that happened, I was like, man, I should have kept all those V's, nice VMAX, the Umbreons, the V's that are jumping off the charts right now and sold them. But yeah, since then, primarily graded on eBay. I do some with One Piece as well. So primarily Pokemon and eBay, but I like picking up random stuff I think is cool and putting it in plastic and seeing how it does.
Right on. Yeah, I agree. Putting stuff in plastic is fun. Speaking of that, obviously with everything that's going on the past couple days in the grading world, everyone notices the title down below. We are going to be talking a little bit about alt arts, grading mishaps, card altering, and enjoying ice cold beer while we do it. So cheers. Pretty excited about it. So I think we're going to just hop in to the alt art conversation, man. What do you feel about these Sword and Shield block alt arts? Do you think this is sustainable growth? Do you think we're going to see like an ebb and flow that happened with the waifus last year and the tag teams and all that? Like, what are your thoughts and feelings on all of this?
Yeah, I mean, it feels very similar to the pump in trainers we had a year ago, the Japanese pump a year or so ago, about this time as well.
Right.
And there's only so many of these cards on the market, but like if you go to any local events to trade nights, like so many people have these cards on hand. And I see on Facebook Marketplace in my current group right now, everyone's trying to get rid of them at this price. So I think there's definitely some pumping going on, some arbitrage with, hey, these sets are running out. Let's buy out the high end cards. I was picking them up and I'm still picking them up at, a percentage of market, but like seeing the Charizard V go from $100 a couple months ago to I think it's 140, 100, maybe 180 today. Who knows? It's
180, 102 market price.
Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna chase the ride up.
I mean, no, chasing the ride up now doesn't make much sense. I think I was talking with you about it. Like, wish like I had purchased more of these. Like especially the cheaper ones, like the Celebi, like V alt art, like beautiful card, and that card's gonna start. I feel like that's one of the cards that you're gonna see like to start running. I'm trying to load page 2 now to see if it pops up here. No, see,
that card was around 20, right? 25.
It's still criminally underrated and underpriced. I think. I'm on page 3 now. Let's see. Oh, here it is. So 43.41. So that's still not that bad. It was trending like $20 in that area for a longish time. Yeah, it was $23 as of $24 as of April 8th. So it's crazy what it did. It almost doubled in price in 1 month. So it's insane what's happening here. Um, like I said, I wish I went in more on some of them, but I do feel like this is going to be a peak and valley kind of thing. Like you said, it happened around the same time last year that all that other craze happened. It seems like right after tax season, it's
Hmm.
picking back up, and everyone's like, "All right, taxes are done now. Let's dump all this extra cash we have into something." But I mean,
How,
just the pricing is insane.
how do you feel? Are there any cards that you're like, oh, I wish I had one of those for the PC, or are you primarily collecting, selling, or a little bit of both?
I more sell.
Okay.
Um, I say this all the time. Like I want to collect, but I get stuff and then I have it for a while. Then it like sits in a binder, and I'm not looking at the binder, or it sits in
Hmm.
my closet. I'm not looking at it, not enjoying
Yeah.
it. So it's really just kind of holding cash back, which is kind of crap. Um,
Yeah.
and it doesn't help me out in the long run. Like I've been selling for a little, probably like a year and a half maybe,
Okay.
and it's been a very slow process. I'm still learning what to do and what not to do.
I think
I
we all
think,
are.
yeah, the beginning of this year, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start buying a lot of sealed stuff, and then the sealed stuff just kind of sits there and doesn't do anything in my closet. And then I look at it and I just want to get rid of it. So I've been pushing some of that. I went to the local card show like a week ago, 2 weeks ago now, week ago
Nice.
now, um, and moved some of the stuff there with some trades and whatnot like that. But yeah, collecting is tough for me. Like personal collection stuff, like I have a few things. Any gifts I get, obviously, keep PC
Right.
stuff. But that all has cool memories to. Like if I'm just buying a card off the internet, like it's a card off the internet I bought. Like I didn't rip it. It doesn't have a memory attached to it. It's just like a
Right.
thing I want to do. Oh man, look at this. I FOMO. F and tag, man. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of opinions about this right now today, which is crazy. I made a comment earlier. Sorry to segue real quick. You know what? I'm gonna hold that. We're gonna go back to alt arts. I can't keep doing it. Let's say hi to some
Yep.
people in the chat. What's up, unit? Nice seeing you in here. We got number one mod in the game, Drew. Hey, Beersky and Danzard. What's going on?
What's up, Drew?
Unit. Let's see. We got iFOMO in the house. What's up, FOMO? More pleasantries. We got the Greenches. What's going on, Greeny? Hope everything's well. I know you got some crazy stuff going on with Tag. Looking forward to hearing what you have to say about more of it tonight on Slab Podcast. We will be running a little bit concurrently, but that's cool. Hopefully people jump back and forth, but definitely interested in hearing what you got going on there. I don't know. I feel certain kind of way about some of it. I was talking to Chef about it a lot today. I don't know, but then I had a thought later on that it probably all doesn't matter at the end of the day anyway, because the hobby moves so quickly and people forget things so fast that this will just also be forgotten. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But all right, alt arts, back to alt arts. We'll get back to that in a little bit. Yeah, so there's really none that I want to pick up per se to hold. Obviously, right now they're on the up, but yeah, I mean, this is crazy. Like, even the Snorlax VMAX Rainbow is 35.82. Like, that wasn't that's crazy.
Yeah.
I just sent one off to grade because of it. Like, it's just insane. Unfortunately for me, I sold the Espeon V and the Umbreon
Mm.
V, like, dude, 2 days before everything started shooting up.
Oh
And like
man.
it was like sold, and then stuff started shooting up, and it was still in my like purchases or like sold thing, and I didn't ship it out yet. And I was like, this dude's
Hmm.
like so lucky and about to be so happy. They were just CGC 10 copies, but they still, went for a pretty penny, like for what I bought them for raw. Pretty awesome. But yeah, I don't know. Like I started opening Vivid Voltage. I wish I had a lot more of the Pikachu VMAX Rainbow rares. I did rip one of those when I first
Nice.
got back into the hobby. Like it was so off-centered and crappy though. I ended up selling it on, oh man, the Pokemon Reddit forum,
Oh
like for
man. We all
trades.
have to
Like,
have our sales there. Just one or two, and then you're done.
and then you're done, dude. It's so bad. Like you have to like, and then people were so picky. Like one guy definitely like had schmutz on his fingers and got it on the cards and saying that I put it on the cards. The cards are flawless. So it was just strange, but
Is that altering? There's dirt
again,
on it.
something to talk about. Wiping it off, I do not think is altering. I will follow Dan's point in there. That
Spit only.
Oh God, I can't believe you spit on your cards. I can't believe you said that to me. So I don't know. Are there any alt arts that you were looking at that you wish you had picked up that are now mooning on you a little bit that you can't grab?
No, I think, well, I think I heard the old card shop say this a while ago, or when I was early in selling. Like, so many of these cards have passed through my hands, and like I have memories of having them. Like, I look at this list, and I don't think there's a single card I haven't had, at least either in English or Japanese, and graded or sold. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
I had a Charizard V alt art at PSA that just hit a 10 and a Giratina that hit a 9. So it was nice to be able to buy those cards, below market a couple months ago and see them go up. But the only alt art I think I might keep is a copy of that Charizard V alt, because when I pulled it, I went to, people probably know Yeti Gaming. They're a pretty big game store. I went to their pre-release and I went home, opened the packs, put the card in my old Ash Pikachu Misty binder. And when I went to get an ETB, I realized it was the hit of the set. I was like, I already have one of these. And I pulled another one. So I think I have some nostalgia to that one just at that phase in the hobby. So probably keep one of those.
Oh, do we got little bubbles popping up on your face? Where did that come from? Was that you doing that?
No,
I've never seen that before. That's awesome. So yeah, yeah, man. It's crazy that you've actually like handled all of these cards. I still haven't had my hands on a Umbreon VMAX. It what, 4 months ago they were going for $550, like cheap, $550, $600. I remember I had one in my hands. I didn't want to grade it. It was just a little off center, but the guy who picked it up actually contacted me. He was like, yeah, it graded a 10. He was actually in chat. So I missed out on that, but he's like, I only sold it for like $700. So I think he made like $75 off of it because the prices were so close at that time. Yeah, I mean,
I was fortunate. There was a collection I picked up early on when I started selling that was like all of the alt arts, a lot of the sun and moon. So I'm got a grade and pick up pretty much everything once. So that's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I wish I had more stock in these Giratina Vs. I really do like that card. Obviously, the Gengar VMAX is beautiful. I don't understand how the Leafeon art is like the second best evolution art. 304.13 market price. That's crazy.
I really like the Glaceon with all the Pokemon splashing around the pool.
Yeah, the Glaceon's great. The Espeon is The Sylveon's not bad either with all the Pokemon in it. I think my favorite one though is the Umbreon V. I wish I had more of those too, because I picked them up at like $80 for a while. You could grab them for like $80. So
it's got Heracross and Sableye and stuff looking up the hill at them. It's another Moonbreon, right?
Yeah, it's another Moonbreon. Yeah, there's a moon just hanging out behind it. Yeah, he's standing on a brick wall. It's a badass art. So,
agreed.
Oh, excuse me. Let's see what we got here. FOMO. Excuse me. What's up, Greenie? We got Fresh Tats in here. What's going on, Fresh Tats? Yep. Danny's saying, what's up, everyone? Thank you for being here. We got Jodo Jake. What's going on, Jodo? Great seeing you in here, my man. Let's see. Fresh Tats Tag is watching us. Man, yeah, so I'll say, well, who like watched that video and contacted Tag about it like that. So there were so many thoughts going through my head this morning when I woke up and do my thing early in the morning, sit down with a coffee for a little bit and like scroll Instagram and some Discord stuff, and I see that he has the video up on Instagram saying like they discontinued the cert, whatever, unactivated the cert, and that wasn't a joke. So like I started texting PokeChef like pretty early today, and I was just like bouncing so many things off of him and like just wondering like what's going on, what that when your platform's like predicated on being like repeatable every time, but then something like that happens, it's not great. But I don't know, I guess, enough about Tag to make super crazy like in-depth I don't want to sound like ignorant on the situation either, because I don't know everything.
Right.
Like, so it's just like my thoughts and feelings and how I feel about some things about it. Um, I don't know what's your take on it. Like, well, how do you feel about the whole situation? Do you feel Greeny got shafted? Do you like? I do feel like if he never said anything though, like this would be
Yep.
like a non-issue. There's been a lot of um outing of our own selves this week with card authoring and getting grades that you shouldn't be getting, like plausible deniability. People, like, don't be telling all your secrets, like. So but I do appreciate like I do appreciate what Greeny did. Like, he definitely put himself on blast for a reason. And it will make a difference, I do think, moving forward, especially something like that. So I don't know, what are your thoughts on everything, because I just want to kind of see how you're feeling about it.
I mean, there's kind of two sides of it. First and foremost, Greeny is the man, and like obviously he collects. Like, he's cracked and graded his own PC with BGS, with PSA, with CGC, with Tag. No one throws money into grading like that unless they truly care about conditional rarity. So
Hell yeah.
his honest reason for trying to go with Tag was like, I want to see how accurate they are on this. And he said it, like there was a dent and they missed it. So I think it's awesome that he put it out there, and that Tag. If Tag, I don't know if Tag Green mentioned, say in the chat, I don't know if Tag reached out to you first and was like, yo, we saw your video. I know they did comment. We're going to deactivate it. We want your help. I think it'd be awesome if you help them, do their job better. We all know how much human error goes into grading in general. I know they're kind of going the technology route, and I have my own feelings about how cameras and image generation stuff can do grading. But I just hope they reached out to you before you're like, hey, this card's, not considered a 10. It's awesome that you're helping them out, though.
Yeah, I feel like he definitely got reached out to. Like, he didn't reach out to them. Like, they definitely someone had to have said something, because I can't see Tag grading like snooping through YouTube trying to find stuff like that. Like, it was definitely brought to their attention. There's a lot going on. Like, listen, they just graded that Illustrator card in a Gem Mint 10, like that. And I think like Gem Mint Pokemon said in the comment section of Greeny's first video, like multi-million-dollar card. Like, so you have multi-million-dollar cards like that, and they're graded with a system that now shows a flaw. And I guess they said like it was one of those cards. The dent was like just on the cusp of humans being able to see it, but he manipulated the card on the camera, and you could see the small indentation. Right. Like, it wasn't, unless that hollow border screwed up the AI imaging. I just don't see how that was missed. Like,
yeah, I heard. If they're trying to differentiate themselves based on accuracy and all this very particular point scale, they need to have a product that can represent that. I know I heard something about them potentially having devices in stores at game shows or at trading shows or whatever. I think this is clearly like they need to do their due diligence, make a better product, get feedback from customers, etc. And if
there's
they want
no way
to
they could do that now.
Yeah,
I don't see how they could put something in a card shop like that.
No.
And you spit out something that's not true, and then people grade. Some people don't grade for money. Most people grade to put it in plastic, raises the value. So people are going to be trying to sell these cards that they're going to the grading store to grade, or the LGS to grade. I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about the whole thing. I mean, I guess comments were made at some point, like, if you could take the card over and over again, it's going to grade the same thing. They're going to pick up the same flaws every time. But I mean, how? I just want to know, like, and again, all the grading scales and stuff are mired in secrecy. It's it's all objective. People are, I don't know, like, you're not going to grade the same thing. You crack a card 10 times PSA and get 10 different grades. So
yeah, I mean, you know how it goes with PSA. If there's a tiny little dent on the front of this, it's a 6. But if someone doesn't notice it, it's not a 6, right?
Yeah, it's a 10 then. Exactly. Yeah. And it happens all the time. It's just when you have the imaging and all that, and you have the point by point, 1,000-point scale thing, and it's showing that you're Gem Mint. Now it's not a Gem Mint. It's kind of a bummer. Like, it's crummy I don't know. I just think the situation's crummy. Like I don't know. I think it's handled poorly. It's nice they gave him 20, um, free graded card credits, and they didn't tag him for that. But
Right.
and he knew what he was submitting to. So I don't. It's just
But they put the number on the plastic, on the piece of paper in the
they
plastic, so
they
it's on
did.
them.
It's on
It's
them.
not a, yeah. It could have came back a 9.
7.5 or
Yeah, whatever.
6 or whatever. Yeah, because that would be a 6 with um PSA.
PSA.
Yeah, he might get a
Yeah.
7.5 with CGC again, like they gave him the first time. It just for that card too, and for that journey that he had with that card, for this to be like how it ends, like it. So hopefully he does get to the point where like maybe they said this is going to be a valuable data point for them. I really do hope it is. Like I think competition in the grading card realm is good.
Definitely.
We need to see more of it. I think PSA is gobbling people up. SGC, they're making moves with the eBay Vault. They're making moves. They just sold gold into eBay, so they're kind of solidifying their stance and position with how they're running their business now. Not so much auctions, but holding. Well, they're going to do their own auctions on
Eventually.
eBay, but they're going to be holding all those cards in their own vault. Like it's just like another layer of security for them, and like monopoly-ish kind of thing for PSA. I think other grading card companies
100%.
are good. I don't. Chef is the number one champion of tag. Like I know that man loves tag grading, and I would love to love tag grading. This is just I want to see how this all pans out, how this shakes out. Like maybe they need to change some wording on their website and change the way they say it. Like there's no way now that you can do this where you just have a card going in a machine, they're taking photographs of it, slapping a label on it, and then someone has to look at it now. So like
Right.
So, but I don't know the how it all works. And again, they just graded I think they've graded 4 illustrators. Another one popped up in the last couple of days. It scored a much lower number. I think it was like a 7 or something. But there's 2 9s, and there's the Gem Mint 10. But like you're talking expensive cards there. Those cards, I mean, people might now be looking at the cards a little different. Like, all right, is this really because this just happened on? And Greeny's card wasn't like it was a $5-10 card. It was a Creatures deck,
Right.
Pocket Zapdos. Like it's a freaking sweet card. So
yeah, I think the concern is I spend quite a bit of time using like different tools online, and I've been spending a little bit of time testing out image recognition software and like putting in this in a card and seeing if they can recognize the hollow foil and things
well,
like that.
you sent that to me about the Cosmos Hollow. That's wild.
Well, and it depends because in that case with the Pikachu that's got the Mimikyu in the background, the only copy of that is Cosmo Hollow. So I was able to go find online that says Cosmo Hollow. I put in a Charizard and it wasn't. So, but it could, just some tool online could determine that it had a crackle foil, so it described the hollow pattern. But I think we're so far away from image recognition at that scale, be able to pick up everything on a card at every angle and being able to summate that without human intervention. I just think we may get there eventually as technology gets better, but you have to be really careful or else you end up with a Creatures deck Zapdos in a 10 that's not a 10.
Yeah, I mean, also I'm gonna say like that illustrator has 2 print lines going right through the hollow, right next to each other. There's 2 of them, and it's mentioned on the thing, but PSA is not giving that a 10, unless they did at one point, because that was alluded to that maybe it was a 10 at one point with another grading company. But like
at least not with an
clear
illustrator. With a random Charizard, they might, if you get a $15 bulk, definitely some of them don't notice print lines.
Yeah,
so
but
just,
like that, like it's you blow the picture up, the first thing you notice is 2 parallel print lines, like running right down, right next to Pikachu. Like so, I'm just saying, like I don't know like what their grading scale is. They said that Greeny is like a one-off where most people complain that their grading is too hard. But like, do you want to be the too hard grading company also?
Right.
That did not work for CGC very well.
Or Beckett.
And they had to blow their entire model up within what, a year and a half, 2 years, and redo everything to make more 10s. So I just don't know, like, are they trying to be the new Beckett where like a tag 10 is a black label like style standard? Like I kind of want to know, like, I'm so interested. This has been like one of the more interesting topics I think that's popped up recently.
It's good to have competitors in the market. New ones like Tag or AGS or whoever. Not saying they provide a good service yet, but having competition will make everyone better in time. Because if Tag does end up providing a superior product, they can take up more of the market share. So
Yeah, and that'll just drive excellence on all sides. Like we need to keep ahead of the curve, which I think we need to see more of.
especially when they start pumping out all sorts of auctions straight from PSA into the vault.
Next day, poof,
Yeah,
like on, baby. So
race
we're
to
gonna
the
see
bottom, level up.
the auction's gonna be very interesting. I don't auction many things. I'm a buy it now guy, and I think I'm gonna start more transitioning my business. It's a business, transitioning more of the business into live shows, like in-person stuff. It seems to make more sense. I feel like you get as many eyes on it as you want at the show. I mean, I did pretty well with the limited stuff I had last show. I killed it at Collecticon last year. I'm so excited for Orlando this year. Are you going to any shows this year?
I will be going to Chicago
Oh,
in the
nice.
Midwest, so just a short drive away.
Everyone's going to Chicago, man. That's the show to be at this year. And I feel like Jersey's picking up too. Speaking of Jersey, if you all haven't checked out the I'm sorry, Beerski's Pub Discord, please sign up for that. I don't know if I linked it down below. I might have to do it after this live. Also, throwing a big party, Beerski Palooza. If you're in the Professor Oak Discord or Pokenomics Discord and or my Discord, you're invited. Throwing a TCG party or a TCG tournament on Friday. Thursday is going to be like River Fun, Beer Olympics, all that stuff. So please, if you want to, you can reach out to me directly. You can also sign up on the sheets that are there in those Discords when you get routed to mine. So, and if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Definitely want to make it as fun as possible. Let's see what's going on with some of these other comments we got here. Let's see. They need to get out of Greeny's comment section and go to work on that algo. Yeah, man. So apparently they reached out to Oak too. Just like on the DL, I guess. That's what he was saying in his Discord. So it's just crazy how this is all like moving along and snowballing through, because they are in there lurking about now. I feel like they're going to be lurking about a lot of our stuff to see what's going on. Again, it's just crazy. Pokey Chef in the house. What's going on, my man? Pokey Chef's got some crazy stuff going on today. Pretty wild.
What does he got going on?
He's serving like a big cool thing. I don't want to spill too much, but he's serving a sports team tonight, so it's pretty awesome. He says it's wild. So Chef's doing some big stuff. I'm happy for Chef. Got the green shiz saying hi to everyone. FOMO, Poke Chef. Let's see. I sold my Blaziken right before it nearly doubled. Yeah, dude, Jake. The same thing happened to me. With those V's, the Umbreon and Espeon. Literally just happened. Boondock Games. What's going on, Boondock? Nice seeing you in here. I have never found a Gengar that was affordable. Even the 10s are severely off-centered. Yeah, man. Oh, that was gradable. Yeah, even the 10s are off-center. I'm sorry. Having a hard time reading today. Yeah, so I haven't seen many of the Gengar. I don't think I've even held one in my hands. I do love that card, though. I think my favorite early ones, though, the Snorlax, I think might be the best V, or the best VMAX. Like, I do love that Snorlax looking like an Earth. It's pretty cool. Umbreon V is my favorite ES alt. Damn Skippy it is. Oh, we got iFOMO. Just hopped into the server. What's up, iFOMO? Thank you for joining. Welcome. That's great. Lugia is my number one, though. What are your thoughts on the Lugia Zard?
I like that it's got the throwback to the shiny Gyarados. It's got a cool colorway in person. I think it is pretty dark, so it's hard to like identify like what's going on there, and I don't necessarily like the butt pick, but it's a cool card.
I mean, Lugia's got a tight ass. How do you not like that? Come on, look at that.
I stay off the dark side of Reddit.
You got Dan's there. He's just fishing, scared for his life. He doesn't know what's going to happen. That Lugia card's cool, like the lightning and stuff. All right. Let's see. Oh, we got Brad G in the house. What's going on, Brad G? Nice seeing you here. Oh, yeah. Here you go. Call back to the shiny Gary and Lugia is the move. Yep. Let's see. We got Grimer Collects. What's going on, Grimer?
I see
Peek
Skater
that.
Nesto asked what my top favorite cards are that I currently have. I gotta say, probably the Haunter from Skyridge Reverse is a sick card. I have a Dragonite GX. I think it's just the regular one, but it was like the first pack I opened when I was going on a lake trip. It's like bent in half and thrown across a room, but just an awesome card.
Nice.
And then I got a base set Charizard on eBay right now that will probably be gone soon, but I like owning it at the moment.
Nice. We got Pikachu in here. Look at these studs. How are we tonight, guys? I'm doing good, Peek. How are you doing?
Doing great.
What are your thoughts on all the crazy shit that's happening in the hobby this week? Let's see. Oh, there's Skater Nesto. I see him down here. Oh, wow. We're pretty far behind on chat. That's awesome. Grimer, let's see. I'll catch up in chat a little bit. Yeah. This one's live, Nesto. I know the Box Nostalgia podcast isn't live. But I am going to drop a little, knowledge right now. Next week's will be live, and it's going to be on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Box Nostalgia Podcast, episode 7. It's going to be a live episode. We will have a special guest on. So I'm going to hold that for a little bit. But, yeah, it should be a fun time. Getting very excited. We're going to be talking Orlando Collecticon. I'm very excited about that. Let's see. They even messaged me on IG when I reposted to my story. Oh, shit. Did they really message you, Jodo Jake? That's crazy. Dude, Tag's doing a lot of cleanup right now. So the problem with that and how I feel about that is if they're doing that much cleanup and they're trying to talk to as many, there's something going on. I don't know. It doesn't seem right. Like you figure a one-off, yeah, we messed up. But if they're starting to talk to a lot of people, I don't know. It just seems very ex-girlfriend-ish, if you know what I'm saying. Like the calls now, like
shove it under the rug.
Yeah, just like stop talking about it. You know what I mean? That's it. So, and that's the point I wanted to bring up that I didn't say earlier was when they were melting or heating up the CGC slabs and just popping them apart like it wasn't a big deal. Everyone was up in arms about it. This is going to destroy CGC. Look what's happening to them. Has anyone talked about that since? I think we heard about it for 2 weeks. This is the first time you've probably been hearing. You heard about that, right, Zard? Since then, so like this tag thing could disappear in a week. It could just be gone, poof away, and no one would even know about it. And everyone coming into the hobby now, or camera's messed up. Everyone coming back in now wouldn't know. Everyone would just be grading with tag and not know what was going on. So it's just very funny that they're like keeping it alive by talking to people. I kind of want to share his story on my Instagram now and see if someone talks to me. Like, give me a job. I'll help you out. What the hell? We got Mason Berry in the house. No one told me Danizard was handsome. We have enough handsome people in this hobby. I know, right? Look at that, man.
Thanks, Mason. I like your icon at the moon.
Oh, what, the Umbreon VMAX?
Yeah.
The Mason Breon? It's great.
The Michael Jackson.
Oh, Thriller?
Thriller pose.
Mason Thriller. AI grading going to take a while to iron out the kinks. Lots of small corner cases that are glossed over initially. Yeah, but I guess not glossed over so much because this one just blew up. Oh man, God tier hairline game in here tonight. What's going on, Felipe D'Souza? How are you doing, my man? Pikachu, Mason, I need some 151 booster bundle cases. Me too, Pete. Me too.
I think we all do.
Let's see.
Have you seen the Sam's Club deal?
No. Talk to me.
They have those Tyranitar Lucario boxes with like 14 packs for $27, $29. It's like $2.20 with tax exempt.
I gotta get myself a Costco membership. Severely lacking. My wife and I have been talking about it for years. Like, just get one for the big stuff, and I never do it. And when I go, I'm like, this place is amazing. I could sleep here. This is great. Buy everything you need. Jeans. You need a pair of jeans. Get jeans. Shrimp. Buy some shrimp. You got everything. It's essentially pizza. Yeah. So Walmart feels the same though. I feel very much the same with Walmart because that's where I go shopping now for the most part. Just like Dan, that's where I get my steaks and stuff. Do all that. It's not bad. and you can buy whatever you want there. It's one-stop shop.
I try to avoid Walmart around me. Close to the city, it gets a little sketchy and it's a little sad.
Oh,
So
and I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm in the boondocks, so I had to drive.
Country Walmarts are the best thing.
The best.
They're clean. They're nice. The people are friendly.
Yep. Always. Like, always friendly. I love it. Pull the CNA VIP card on those distributors. Oh, man. Let me see. We have any more comments about... Oh, man. Oh, wow. There are so many comments. This is awesome. Thank you guys for all the comments. I do appreciate it. Yeah, so any more thoughts on tag? Like, any more... Especially now knowing that they're reaching out to people through Instagram, trying to figure out what's going on. Like, your thoughts, feelings on that, or just kind of wait and see what's going to happen with it all?
I mean, I like that they're reaching out to people. If they're asking them to take down the post and the problems, then I kind of have a problem with that. But if they're like, hey, just wanted to talk to you about this. I don't know why they reach out to Jake for reposting a story. So I think we just need some time to let it play out. I think Basic said in the channel, the slabs do look pretty clean. Like,
oh yeah,
it's a nice sleek piece of plastic. But again, if their technology, if they want to actually put these in stores, like do actual, automated grading without a human intervention, like we're just far off from that from a tech perspective. So unless they have some secret sauce they haven't deployed yet, I'm hesitant to bet on them.
All right. Well, there you have it. All right. Card altering, man. Let's get into the next thing. Is it a chemical? Are you dumb? Like, let's don't be dumb. Like, that was such a wild sequence of events that happened. And at first I didn't realize who it was directed to. Once I figured it out, I was like, what the hell's going on?
When Discord blew up.
Literally 10 seconds before that, PK's like, I'm going to hook you up with the top 3 sellers on eBay. And then 10, 20 seconds later, that guy's calling one of the top 3 sellers on eBay. He's asking if he's dumb. So
cute.
And cute. Yes. Dumb and cute. So I don't know. It's just wild. Like, what are your thoughts on card altering? Like,
I think it probably needs to be defined better in all of the documentation. I did not have a time today or yesterday to actually look up PSA's rules on that. Obviously water is a chemical, spit is a chemical. So I understand you can use something to get off dirt, but that brings up the point. If I take a card, bend it in half, is that altering it? No, because I don't have new anything. But if I go shove it in the dirt outside and send it in, that's foreign substances. So I'm not really, my only reason I hesitate when it comes to wax and other things, I don't know how that's going to how the long-term preservation of that card's going to be. So I would be hesitant to put really anything other than wiping it off with a microfiber with a little lick or a little bit of water.
A little lick. Oh man. So I sent to him, we were talking yesterday and we were talking about this a little bit. And I said, yeah, we can use water. And then I put in parentheses, not spit. That's nasty. And his comment was, I've used spit before. That was it. I don't know. Yeah. I guess so. Now that I'm thinking, I've probably have licked my thumb and done that.
I'm not hawking a loogie.
No, you're not hawking a loogie.
I don't know about you, but I mean, I know you have your office where you have all your stuff. This is kind of my workspace. So all of my cards, my desk with my everything are downstairs. So when am I going to have water down at that desk? So yeah, if I'm going through cards to pre-grade them and I'm going to send them in,
I'm terrified to have water by my desk. The only thing liquid I keep by my desk is my tasty beverage, which I'm going to take a sip of right now. Cheers.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking Heady Topper. Let me pull it out of the Hopsolator that I have. This thing's awesome. But it is it's from the Alchemist Brewing Company in Vermont.
Oh,
Heady
cool.
Topper. It's at 8%. It's delicious. Dank.
Nice.
It's a real dank beer. I love
East Coast IPA.
Yeah, double IPA. I'm just a big, huge fan of it. It's delicious. Nice. They don't come around here all that often. Really, before the pandemic, you had to go to You actually had to go to the brewery to pick it up. And then once the
Got it.
pandemic happened, like they started releasing a little bit more and more into like the wilds, and then you could find more and more of it in the wild. So that's what, it was around here. And I think I picked up 6 4-packs of it, and then I picked up 2 more 4-packs of it like a week later. So
there you go.
Yeah, freaking fantastic. So yeah, card altering. I don't know. Dan brought up a lot of good points in his live the other night. I didn't listen to it live. Listened to it the next morning on the way to work, but definitely bringing up good points. Like, is creasing cards and sending them out to try and get PSA 1s, is that altering? It's not clearly defined by PSA. Some people would say yes. Some people, would say no. I mean, if you're doing it for monetary value and you're trying to get a lower grade to get more money, you're altering the card to get more money. I don't know. It's all very much shades of gray, like Dan said. You can look at it either way. It's ultimately up to PSA, Beckett, CGC, Tag to figure it out. It almost seems like it would behoove them to get together and kind of have
Make
like
a standard,
and have a standard, like a hobby-wide grading standard that they all abide by. Each can have their own nuance. Each can have their own thing, but why not have just like a level playing ground that everyone knows what it is? This is what we'll all accept. This is what we won't accept. And then there's no shenanigans. Like, I think that's, a pretty decent, at least start to it, to get everyone to kind of, I mean, you see it happen in almost every other, not hobby, but car companies all have level playing field. They all have certain standards that they have to follow. Like, and I know driving a car is different than having a trading card being put in plastic, but it's apples and oranges there, but you can have standards. And I think that trading cards don't have a lot of standards right now. And it's something that maybe needs to start falling into place.
The other thing is like they are like it's a piece of cardboard when it comes down to it. I don't know if you've ever read the book, what is it, Gem Mint. It's like the backstory of baseball cards, how they got started, etc. Altering cards has been going on forever.
Yeah.
Like as soon as it became a monetary gain thing, people are going to find ways to work around to make a little bit more money, etc. So I think this is just the same story told over. And obviously, no company's perfect, no process is perfect. There's going to be flaws in their regulations. Like, obviously, we all know we can wipe off dirt from a card, and that's not hurting anything. Once you get in the nuance past that, my concern is for the buyers who are buying it as a collection piece, who are going to hold this thing thinking it's going to, again, have some value, monetary value down the road. In general, it's a speculative asset. Other than that, like, if you're waxing a card and that impacts what it looks like 5-10 years from now, which if you look at Mickey Mantles, like, they're going to degrade even in a case.
Yeah.
So what is that going to do to, the card's integrity down the road?
And I think that's the most interesting point. And I think that's the point that is said a lot, but I think it's not like really like you hear it, but people don't, like, you're putting stuff on your card. Like, you don't know. Like, it's funny, like what people, they'll justify that argument for some things and then not justify that argument for stuff like this. Like, it's just, you're putting something on that card. You don't know how it's going to react. There's not been tests on it. Like, Kurt's Card Care has been around. How many times has the formula been changed? What's the formula? You don't know. Like, right. It could just be peeling. It could be just slowly but surely eating through that card. You don't know. If it sits in the sun for 20 minutes, maybe the wax accelerates the process and starts messing it up. Like, you just don't know what's going to happen.
How does humidity impact it?
Yeah, right. Now you got wax in there. If it does get humidity in there, is the dew going to stick to the wax and warp the card? Right. Like, there's so much shit that can happen. And again, there needs to be. I think a standard would be great. Like, I don't know. Food has standard. Everything has standards in the way. Everything has standards. Like, you have brewing. I mean, this, I don't think the Alchemist is, but they have the independent brewing company for beers. No, they don't, because they're family owned, but there's like the independent brewing conglomeration for beers. and they all come together and they all work with each other to just figure out, to be better brewers and all that. Like, that's what I think the hobby needs. Like, listen to Poke Wonders live with Charlie Herlocker, and he said collaboration between people in the hobby is like what's best for the hobby and what's going to be best for the hobby. Like, these big companies can collaborate too. I think Dan's talked about it. Like, Pepsi and Coke will talk to each other, right? Like, they talk to each other. So why aren't these companies talking with each other and doing this for each other? Like, I think at this point, like, it would behoove them. It will behoove the customers. It'll behoove the collectors, the flipper. It'll be good for everyone to have a standard.
I agree 100%.
Let's see. I'll go back to chat for a little bit. They hand it back to me. Is this your card? It's Joker. Let's see. We're talking prices of boxes. I love it. Mason Berry, $370 for a box at $500 MSRP. Oh no. Chef is a shill. Oh man. All right. Let's see. PSA would absolutely pass print lines to throw a 10 on an illustrator. Would they though? I mean, and again, they have. Like, it's things that have happened, but it's 2 print lines. Like, I want to pull the card up. Give me a second. I'm going to pull this card up and put it on screen. Let's see. Tag 100,000th grade. Let's see. Pulling it up right now.
Peak, I got a card in the stack I picked up today. It's one of the Charizard SARs from 151. It's got 3 print lines going down the middle of it. I'm still sending it, and I think PSA will give it a 10.
Do you really?
So I will send it, and give me a month and a half. It will. We'll see how they treat. It's not an illustrator, but we'll see.
All right, here we go. Yeah, 4 total graded. I just want to pull it up. And like, please leave down in the comments below whether or not you think this should be a let's see, if this should be a 10. Oh man, let's see. This doesn't oh, here we go.
Pete brought up a good point. He's like attempting to push the corner dent down, like rubbing the cards down. I don't know who doesn't, especially with modern cards, when the corners have a little bit of lip to them, just press it down a little bit in the card saver.
I'm like, even afraid to even say stuff like this. Like, am I guilty of doing that? Like, I've definitely done it before. I've said it on lives before. I did it for the CGC Pristine 10 Van Gogh Pikachu I graded. I massaged the shit out of those corners, man.
The Pikachu's needed it.
Dude, I put it in that card saver and I just massaged away. Not with a pencil, not with a pen, just my finger. I just rub. It's all I use is my finger or my fingernail. And
no foreign substances.
No foreign. I just apply. Yeah, I just apply a little bit of pressure. Let's see. I'm going to pop this bad boy up right now too. I don't think that is manipulation at all. Now, I don't know if everyone can see this. You can see those 2 print lines right in there. They're right above his head, and it's 2 distinct print lines. So I don't know. Like, it's cool that they have a graded card like this. And then they show, like, let's see, ink surface defect, scratches, print lines. And that's the front corners. So that's pretty cool. So, like, what they do show is cool. Awesome. Like, it's super cool how they show everything. And again, like, well, you can see a scratch right here. Just circling that. It's cool seeing all this. Like, they show, like, bottom edges, right edges. Like, I love seeing this kind of stuff. I just, and it's pretty. Like, it's a pretty looking card in the case. I don't know. I'm probably
gonna have every tech's gonna have some level of error. Like, it looks like a pretty clean card. Like,
all in all. But like, would it get a 10 if it wasn't that? Like, I'm just wondering. Like, that's all I'm getting at. And with everything that's happening now, like, it just brings these questions to mind. I'm not knocking it. Like, I have nothing against tag grading. Like, I'm just interested to see, like, why that would be a 10, and why wouldn't, if their grading scales are so difficult, 2 print lines right in the middle of the card, like, why are you going to give it a 10? Like, that's all I'm wondering. That's all I want to know. If it's that strict and that's it. So I'm gonna pull this off screen now. I'll stop beating that dead horse. Let's see. Bundles, Magic DTBs are called bundles, so I always get confused. Let's see. We got Giovanni's Pikachu in here. What's going on, man? Sent a sub to tag yesterday. Got it back today. That's rich. I love it. Booster bundles suck. I hate that we don't have boxes, but I need them. Yeah. Booster bundles. I don't play around with many booster bundles. You got some Juice live shows in NJ2. That's a definite valid plan. So they've been popping up more and more in Jersey. These shows, the Morris County card show, Woodbridge card show. There's another one that's popping up, but there's also stuff in Philly. It's crazy what's around here.
Is there typically a pretty good turnout?
Yeah, the last show I went to wasn't super packed. I've seen Ava's binder there before.
Oh, cool.
She was there. She's got fucking heat though. Like, she's got booster boxes.
She's got the sauce.
Just fucking heat, dude. So I saw her. I think she just actually did like a live while she was selling, which is cool. Like, that's good content. So
those are hot right now.
Those are real hot right now. So good for her. I hope it keeps working out for her. But yeah, shout out Ava's binder. She's seen her at the Jersey show. So we got Skater Nesto in here. I know we talked about this earlier. Danizard, what's your top three favorite Pokemon cards that you own? What were they again? I know we talked about them real briefly.
The Haunter Reverse Hollow from Skyridge. That's a pretty cool one with like those it looks like ancient tombs in the background.
All right, right on.
I have a Dragonite GX that was like the first card I pulled like before I got back into the hobby. We were going on a lake trip on Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
And at Walmart, they had some packs, and I threw it across the, like, it was just it's ripped in half, but love it. And I think I said I got a base set Charizard right now in the vault, but that's a good question. I need to think about that more. I'd say the first two are legit. The base set Charizard is just kind of a thing that's temporary.
How do you feel about the vault stuff?
I mean, it sucks. I have cards there. I've enjoyed selling with 0 fees. Obviously, I'm probably not going to sell through PSA Vault with those fees on the high dollar cards. I think it makes sense that, PSA is a grading company. They know the cards. eBay is a selling platform. They are not they outsource their authenticity guarantee. PSA is taking over the raw card grading. I mean, I know it's a consolidation of two big powers, but I think it makes sense from a logistical standpoint for PSA to manage and own the vault, and eBay to remain a selling platform and get that higher level selling platform that not collectors, Golden has. So I know there's some, like, kind of sucks for us that are selling. We're like, hey, 3% is awesome at 250 over, but what sucks is I have a base set Zard in the eBay vault, and they can't add the word base set to it because it's not on the PSA tag. So when Nat says something along the lines of, hey, our title structure is really good, you can customize it, I'm worried that if keywords or terms aren't included in their database on the card, that auctions or cards are going to go missing on eBay.
Yeah, I mean, they should definitely allow you to change and alter your titles as much as you want if it's within the truth. Like, we all call it base set. Like, they're part of the hobby. Like, PSA is huge. They should recognize base set. Like, base set should be on there.
In Discord, I think it was either Jodo Jake or Hipster said they had a Delta species card, and they denied Delta species because it's not the set. So
that's what people are searching for, it's just wild. Like, I guess, I don't know. I wonder how many people, like, and again, standards. We'll get back to standards. Like, they should be hiring people too that are in the hobby doing this kind of stuff. Like, I know Herlocker was saying he was like the first Pokemon consultant for a company, that's awesome. Like, they should have more people like that working for these companies that aren't just there to make, I know their job and business is to make money, but when it's stuff like that, it's going to make you more money too if people can search and find the card and buy the card on your platform with your huge selling fees.
Yeah.
So
Provide a good service, make things sell through quickly, make it easy for the buyer and the seller, and it doesn't matter what the fee is. If you can send a card to PSA, never touch it again, and pay an extra 3 or 4%, that's less fumbling through cards we have to do. But if you're not making that process smooth, then it becomes, I'd rather just handle it myself. So
yeah, and I haven't sent anything to the vault. Obviously I'm not going to send anything to the vault now. I've really just started breaking into like the higher price cards. I feel really good about all that actually this year. I feel like I have more gas for Collecticon. Like last year it was just I had a couple cards priced over 100. Now I got cards, priced over that, higher than that. I'm very happy with what I got. I lost my train of thought here though, where I was going with that crap.
Not using the eBay vault.
Oh yeah, not using the eBay vault. So I
card.
didn't have the eBay vault. I wasn't using it because I didn't have the cards to put in there. Not enough at least.
Right.
And now it's gone to me. So I don't know. I also don't mind having all the cards and dealing with them. I wish the fees were a little cheaper, but eBay makes it super easy to not have to worry about dealing with any of that. So I'll pay the fees if that's what that is. You know what I mean? Like it just makes like that much simpler. That's why I don't like selling on any of the other platforms. I don't want to have to try and figure out sales tax and send in sales tax to other places. Like I don't want to deal with any of that.
Meeting at a sketchy gas station.
Yeah, and
having to coordinate.
Dude, it's like Facebook Marketplace. What a freaking absolute nightmare of a platform that is to sell stuff on. I've never gotten so many, is this available? And then me say yes and just get ghosted for the rest of the time. I actually had one guy tell me 2 days in a row that I can come meet him to sell something to him. And I drive right by his work. And like, dude, like 3 hours after that, he's like, oh, I guess you're already past me. I was like, yeah, dude, like 3 hours ago when I told you I was going to be past you. So I think just like eBay is nice. It's anonymous enough. Like they have my P.O. box. It's nice. Or I sell in person and have a great time. I kept texting my wife that day. I was like, I'm in my element here. Like, I just loved it. I was talking to everyone. I was helping kids out with their cards. And it was just I had a good time. So that means more. I'd rather that than.
Yeah, I mean, you have that in your blood. I know you did GameStop for a while, work there. There's something about being on the floor in retail, showing people things that they love and like being able to help them find something that they get joy out of.
I absolutely love that job too. Like that, I have a lot of fond memories of GameStop at the beginning. Once you become a salaried employee for that company back in those days, it all went downhill for you very quickly. I mean, I was 19. I was a store manager. Like I worked my way up from just like a holiday hire to a third key to an assistant manager. And I was looking at becoming like they had a position where you would actually like travel around the country and set new stores up.
Yeah, cool.
So I was looking in positions like that, but then life happened. I, was going to have a kid. So I kind of had to move from that to something a little more, I guess, professional or adult or whatever it was. Like it was more money, essentially more money. But I really did enjoy GameStop. Like that was fun. I love talking games, man. Like I was 16 years old when I got that job, like first job, 17 years old. It was so freaking cool. Like just talking all day long about video games. My boss, shout out Joe Keller, one of the coolest bosses I ever had in my life. That man was so awesome. He loved Japan, went there multiple times, would always bring me stuff back. Awesome. Yeah, he was like a GOAT boss. I really did love that man. Joe Keller, if you're out there, if you ever see this, you were the shit. Yeah, cheers, Joe. Cheers. Let's see. We got Quilly in here. What's going on, Quilly? It's great seeing you.
What's up, Quilly?
Oh, let's see. We got Drew dropped. Thank you, Drew. Number one mod in the game, man, for dropping the link in here. I really do appreciate that. King Haunter Collector. Very nice. Yeah, dude. So I wish I had some more Haunter. Yep. I love it. Is that a sitting cutie or is that just like a regular plush?
It is. It's the Pokemon Fit, the one from the Japanese Pokemon Center.
Okay, right on. Let's see. Lugia is by far the best alt-art. Oh, Peak. I love it. I'm a big fan of Lugia. I've pulled one. It was awesome pulling. That was off center as hell though, which was unfortunate. But Bierski's Rule 34 subscriber confirmed. Bierski Rule 35 subscriber confirmed. 34. I don't get what that means.
I don't know what he's talking about.
What does that mean, my man? Yeah.
Oh,
what?
Yeah, no, don't. We don't need to go there. We'll DM offline. Don't need to go there.
Okay. All right. All right.
I think that was in. Yeah. We'll see.
All right. Now I'm intrigued. Maybe we
Stay
should
away
talk
from
about
the dark side of the internet, guys. Just
Oh. Oh, is that? Oh, so I don't know. So that must be a Reddit thing.
yeah, it's a Reddit thing, unfortunately.
Okay. Unfortunately.
Avoid
No,
at all
I'm
costs.
not. So I got rid of Reddit. Reddit was too much after a while. Like
It's toxic.
Dude, it's so fucking toxic. And I thought like Reddit wasn't toxic. I was like, this isn't Facebook. This isn't Instagram. This isn't Snapchat. No, it's toxic. It's a bad fucking place. Like,
and you can like, I've gone through and I've like unsubbed from all the things that were like negative or anything that's negative, and just do like happy stuff, like funny videos and things like
negative
that.
shit
And it
still
just
pops up.
yeah, and just can't spend time digging into that. Just
No, because the rabbit holes, man. You pop on that and you're like, fuck. And here it goes.
It used to be so good too. Like
Yeah.
the only reason I use Reddit now is if you Google, a lot of times the best like forum on like fixing a problem is on Reddit.
Yeah, always. And I always click on those, but I just refuse to get back into Reddit again. I just can't do it anymore. I'm really, Facebook's only for Facebook. The only good thing about Facebook Marketplace is I got that Crown Zenith Master Set, which just
Nice.
dumped tens on me from PSA, which I love. So very happy with that.
I love buying from Facebook Marketplace,
yeah,
because if they're interested, if they're straight, if they'll send like be reasonable on pricing, I'll just be like, we can meet here then, and you don't have to rely as much on other. But selling is hard.
Yeah, probably won't do any more of the selling. Lugia Alt sporting some junk in that trunk. Hey Bierski, what's your fur affinity username? Jesus Christ, what is going on here? I'm not a furry. I don't know what Rule 34 is, but I've never been there. I'm open up an alt account on Reddit and start searching down horrible rabbit holes.
I don't know what he's referring to. I don't know what he's referring to, but it can't be good.
It can't be. Hey, we got Basic Trainer in the house. What's going on, Basic? Good seeing you. Looking forward to your live with PK on Friday, doing the Kickstarter MetaZoo box opening. Apparently, your boy Mike Waddell is trying to resurrect that demon. Hopefully, he does it, and then everyone's MetaZoo goes to the moon. We'll just see what happens.
We got to get down on the Kickstarter.
I might buy a
degenerate mode.
I might get a pack just for shits and gigs.
We'd split one.
What's he selling them for?
I don't know. The cards are probably going in the trash anyway, right?
I'm
sorry, Basic.
I don't like them reaching out to multiple people. Oh man, PokeChef saying something bad about Tag. Yeah, I agree. I don't like the fact that they, again, and to Zard's point, like if they're reaching out and like explaining themselves and like trying to be like, listen, we just want to make sure that you feel comfortable with us. But if they're saying like, yo, why are you posting this on Instagram? We're taking care of the problem. It's more like a forceful thing. Like it's just bizarro that they're going to be hitting up again, like Jodo Jake. Like he had nothing to do with it at all. Just shared it. I think like, Professor Oaks did something about like a lawyer and joking and like contacted him. So like, I don't know what the deal is. Again, I just want to know what the hell is going on and figure it all out. Tag is the future. Is it? Yeah, very sus. Does Tag grade zoo? Dude, only in thousands of thousands. They get perfect grades, all of them. Gem Mint said on my channel, Tag wants to drop a card grading machine at LGS with rev share for people to get instant grades. Haven't watched Josh vid yet, so I'm behind. Hope that happens. Yeah, it would be cool if it happened, but you have to be able to trust the machine to grade the card correctly, because then you're just going to have this expensive machine in your LGS that I'm sure you have to. It's not going to be free. It might be free to begin with, but
right,
they're gonna want. I'm sure it's going to be a subscription based model. I mean, they said, yeah, with the revenue share for people. I don't know if it's not making money. It's just taking up space. It's not going to go anywhere.
I know Peaks in the enterprise software environment, so I know he sees how much things have changed over the past year or two in that technology. So I don't think it's that they can't get there; it's that they're not there yet, and we need a little bit more time. So
But just
uh,
fine. Just make it take
yeah,
more time then. Don't try and rush it
yeah,
to market. Maybe like this is when they should be sticking their feelers out there and trying to like gauge. And maybe they did do all that already. Again, my understanding about tag rating and their processes and how they came out and where their money came from and all, I don't know any of that. So it's all just me spitballing right now. Um, Still team tag though. Of course you are. I legitimately want all my Pikas and tag slabs. They're so fresh and so clean. They are. Andre 3000 agrees with you, man. They are fresh. I think they're beautiful slabs. I like how it's etched onto the slab too. I think that's very cool. But I'd wait a little bit, I guess. Some guy bought a pound of those Lucaria boxes in PA. Reddit was losing their mind. Oh my god.
they're still available on the website. You can buy as many as you want. I put 50 in my cart and it let me.
Yo,
Someone's free. Like just go online. I'll get right to your front door.
oh fuck.
People like something to be mad about.
Oh yeah, people love being pissed off. Beerski's top two necessities: jeans and shrimp. Oh, Quilly, that's good, man. Oh shit, that's funny. Acme slept on out in the woods. Let's see, Quilly and Mustache. I did a Whole Foods for me, Amazon produce, Kroger for random stuff. Oh, so you're a multiple shopper. You bounce around. I hate doing that. I need one. I go to one spot. I used to go to Aldi and then Walmart, or vice versa. I can't do it. It's just not. Once I'm out of the store and I'm in the car, no, not getting back out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, got a local super Walmart out here. It's absolute gas. It definitely is gas, dude. Super Walmart's where it's at. Again, you could buy shrimp and jeans there as well. So it's all good.
And Pokemon cards.
And Pokemon cards, yes, for their much more raked prices because I haven't bought a card in a store in so long. This being in these groups and stuff have ruined that for me. I will say that. I used to like just buying a pack and I can't do it anymore. I'm like, well, that pack's $5. I'm not gonna rip that. So I don't know. Not for me, I guess.
When we traveled recently, we stopped at Walmart's along the way and picked up a couple, and it turned the trip into a business trip and bought cards where we were. So
That's awesome. Yeah, hey,
like
sometimes
at rural Walmart, like for a while, I was finding like I would just stop by after if I was driving by one, finding those Vaporeon V Max, Jolteon V Max, those boxes, the premium collections that
yeah.
have those like alternate arts. So like if I see things like that pop up online and I'm passing a Walmart or a Target, I'll stop and check. But
Just to see if they
definitely
have
won't rip packs off the blister though.
No, not anymore. You can't do it anymore. Y'all sleeping on Mexican grocery stores. There's none around me, dude. I live in the boondocks of New Jersey. I can tons of them out by where I work, but not where I live. I avoid Walmart consistently or constantly. When I go in there, I always stop by the toilet to see
True.
all the stolen Pokemon cards out, dude. It's a massacre sometimes. It's terrible. Mexican grocery stores are the best, especially if they have taqueria inside. Yeah, that's not bad. Fact Chef got a Mercado in town. I go there every week. Yeah, see, I'm missing out, I guess. Let's see. Oh, billionaires dunking on Dan. Graded companies giving dented cards 10. Altering cards. PK breaking Kickstarter. His hobby's cooked. No shit, basic. It's billionaires dunking on Dan. Again, one of the funniest fucking things ever. It was so funny. Like, are you dumb? Like, I see this clown. Would you call him a clown or a joker? As I see this clown or this guy in the comments. Like, just the way he said it with such disdain. Like, he wanted to slap him through the freaking window. Oh, man. Let's see. Oh, Heady Topper for the win. One of the OGs. Yeah, Peak knows. It's definitely better than the Sip of Sunshine. And I know you're a big fan of that, but Heady Topper's good. I have some Focal Banger in the fridge too, Peak. Let's see. Let's see, back to altering. Respectfully, I have no idea why altering is even something we're talking about. Who truly cares at this point? And I don't mean that sarcastically. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, what do you think, Dan?
I think all of these hot topics are over discussed and beaten to the ground. I mean, I think it's definitely like something to again. It goes back to there's always been mischievous behavior in anything you can make money in, so it's bound to be there. The company should continue to do things to improve their ability to check, but there's so much like so many people spend time on, and myself included, spend time on Reddit and Discord or watching videos about this stuff. And if I were to put that energy into looking at more cards, looking into how tag works, things like that, there's just such a better use of time than worrying about what Nat said or what spit is.
I get what you're saying. And again, everyone's going to forget in 2 weeks anyway. This isn't going to be talked about in 2 weeks. It's going to be
Rattle
over.
makes his next video.
Oh man, Rattle's probably salivating at this right now. He can't wait to talk about it. You know it.
Or PK grades those cards that were inked when he cuts them off with a razor blade.
And they all grade 10s. Fantastic. If you get a higher grade and pull one over on the graded company, who really cares at all? I guess the end consumer, but they will never know because they never saw the card originally. Like, that's the thing. You just don't know. There's probably millions of cards that have been altered. How many cards have been graded? Like, I want to know a full number. That's for the Slab podcast. The amount of cards graded of all time around everything, like baseball, sports, TCGs, at all. Yeah, your canceled peak. Some of the altering done in Vintage Magic is next level. I don't know much about Vintage Magic.
Me neither.
Peak is killing it. Outside of color, I don't care what you do. Trim it, clean it, wash it, give it a hot lotion shave. It does not matter.
Put the lotion on the skin.
Or it gets the hose again. Absolutely. Peak trying to get the Kurt sponsorship. That guy is so awesome. Oh, man. Never done anything to scratch dirt off. My card attempted to push corner dent down. Arrest me. I don't think those are altering, so you're okay. But what I think doesn't mean anything. I've licked a card in my day too. Don't see a problem with that. Oh man, Grimer, what are we doing here? We're licking cards now. And I won't ask questions. Bill hit it. Don't dent it. Oh man. When I pre-grade, I completely ignore print lines entirely, and it's never been a problem. Really? So am I just overdoing print lines? I feel like I've had print lines in cards that have 9s, like specifically from PSA. One print line. I graded a Roxanne last year, full art Roxanne, and a one print line, and it was Japanese. It was flawless otherwise. 9.
I think it's all just like a shoot in a bucket. Like if you send 50 cards, like chances are you're going to get 80% 10s, and they're like, yeah. I mean, I've seen some like we all have seen something get 10s that we were like, hey, this is probably a 9, and then also vice versa. I've had some cards that were so off center. That Mew EX, the little bubble Mew that's Japanese. I had one come back that was like super OC that came back at 10. So if it's clean, if there's not like whitening on it, like, and it's not super messed up on the front and back, like I'll test it most of the time.
So I hear you there. So the cleaner the back of that card is, it allows for so much other shenanigans to happen on that card. I just picked up that Hidden Fates Master set, and some of the shiny Vault cards were a little bit off center, top, bottom, left or right. But the backs, when I say clean, like they were the cleanest backs I've ever seen on cards before. I think a majority of them are going to 10. I sent every Evolution out, Mewtwo, Rayquaza, the promo cards like the Metagross, which is a stupid expensive card in a 10. Like it was perfect. Like they're just beautiful, perfect backed cards. I've never seen English print quality like that before. So that might be something that I look into a little bit more, is like shiny Vault, Hidden Fates kind of stuff, because this card's beautiful.
Those black lines on the front will get you though. For some reason, sometimes they'll hit you with being off center for those lines being top or side heavy or crooked.
Yeah,
In
so
that
and
era.
that was my concern in it, because I've never sent those cards out before. But when you look at the border itself, that's just part of the border. That's not the actual
Right.
border. That's bullshit. So I was looking, I was like, oh no, like you can see where the actual border, like the normal border for a Pokemon card is. It's just like a little weirder because of how it is.
Right.
And if they look at that, I should be good on some of those.
Right.
Because and my biggest thing is I'll go on eBay and look at graded cards that are on there and see like where they're.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, if that card looks like that, I should be able to possibly squeeze a 10 out of this. So that's been something that I do.
And margins are finally getting like with the pump that we talked about earlier in alt arts and modern cards. Like there's actually, it seems to be a little bit of margin in nines right now for the first time since probably last summer. So I don't know how long that'll last, but we send cards off to PSA and they double in value while they're there. That's a win, even if they come back in a 9 or an 8. So
Oh,
it's not
absolutely.
guaranteed to happen in the future, but we're living in a good time right now.
Yeah, it's just booming and booming and booming. It just keeps doing it. It's just cool. Having a lot of fun. You're allowed to alter your card, just don't tell them if you do. Let's see. I need to go live again soon. I'll probably get canceled, but I have strong thoughts of all this. I said I was talking with Chef today, Peak. Between that and Tag, there's a lot of strong thoughts. I just, I don't know. I need more information about it all. I do want to bring one more thing up with you, though. And it's because you've brought it up to me multiple times and it took me a while to like actually listen to it. But you sent me an awesome podcast about Nintendo and like their rise from, and believe it or not, they were a concrete company in the 1800s that turned into a trading card company, and not trading card, a playing card company that then turned into what Nintendo is now. And that was one of the best listens of a podcast I've ever it's one of the best podcasts I've ever listened to. That was the most informative thing. And as a person that considers himself a Nintendo fan, like just hearing how and also like the way Japanese culture worked at that time too, and how companies were passed down, like just the way everything is, it's just like so freaking awesome. Like if you have any like words on that podcast, you want to bring up any points from that podcast that like were super interesting to you.
Yeah, I'll drop a link to the podcast in the comments.
Yeah, please
after.
do.
But the guys that acquired, they cover a lot of just like companies, just like history of companies. You have Ford. I think they got the last podcast with Charlie Munger before he passed away. So they just cover a lot of cool technology companies and things like that. So I think someone recommended the podcast to me through work, and I found the Nintendo episode. But it's just so cool to hear the history of how Nintendo came to be, hearing it from that perspective. We've all watched the documentaries and seen the shows about Atari coming out and what happened here in the US, but to hear about how it went from a concrete company to a card company that was underground because they would kill you for gambling over there.
Yeah.
To
ties to the Yakuza.
Yeah. To being passed down between like just the whole culture, like marrying people into the companies to take over the company. Just that whole family dynamic and
adopting
grown
men and having them take your last name so they could take the company over for 4 generations in a row.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild, like wild shit.
Yeah, it's nuts. And I think there's 2 podcasts. There's the origin story, and then there's the console wars,
which was
so you kind of get the backstory of like this is how Nintendo came to be and how they like actually were able to trade with the US after World War II, and how they got into the industry. And it's so cool to hear. Like I'm a podcast person, I like listening, and it's a good listen.
I was super interested in the fact that they were like hiring the people or adopting the men into the family, and then like it was just like a string of, I don't know, have 4 generations where the male was not producing male heirs. So their daughters were going out and marrying men who would then take the last name of the daughter so they could be technically the patriarch of the family and run the company.
And that's how it happened in Western civilization up up until like a couple hundred years ago, or even 100 years ago too. So that's not that far in our history.
It's not. It's just so. It's not what we do
Yeah,
now, and we're so like
yeah.
just locked into our own little nutshell. I also need to make this public right now because I feel ashamed for the grade that I gave the NES during the Box Nostalgia podcast rankings. After listening to this podcast and realizing how important the NES was to what gamers nowadays have, it's an S tier console to me. Having that knowledge now and realizing what Nintendo like did and what Miyamoto did to save Nintendo, specifically Nintendo USA. It's just wild how Donkey Kong was like a shooter system. It was on a shooter system that was like ported and just reworked to make a game that had nothing to do with shooters become one of the sold 60 million copies, I think, over its life. Donkey Kong, the original one, introduced Mario, who wasn't Mario at the time. Like it's just super wild to see how Nintendo literally saved video gaming for the world. Like it came through and saved it. And then, then it had the battle with Sega, and I forget all of that stuff, and it's crazy how much you forget.
Do you remember hearing something about, they mentioned in the podcast that they were going to partner with, I see Pete mentioned PlayStation. He said the PlayStation creation backstory. Like they were going to partner with PlayStation. I forget who did it, and they were going to come together and build this console. I forget what. Yeah, it might have been the 64. And at the last minute, when they were going to show this off, I think it was at a PlayStation event. And I might be getting this backwards. Nintendo's like, nope, we're doing this on our own. Oh, maybe it was Sony who did that, and I don't remember who's who, but
someone got boned at a CES, like the keynote. I think the Sony keynote was like saying how like Nintendo was going to be part of them, and then Nintendo was like, no, sorry guys, this isn't happening. It was one of those companies. Some It's crazy, like the shenanigans that happen between these companies and like backstabbing and whatnot that they were actually doing with each other to come out on top. And we're talking about Nintendo. Nintendo just announced that they are going to announce their next system within this fiscal year, which ends in March of 2025. And right now it's being dubbed the Switch 2. I'm very interested to seeing where that goes, especially after listening to the history of Nintendo and seeing how they've dropped the ball multiple times. Really what saved Nintendo throughout its, lifespan has been the handheld market. They were in the negative for 7 years straight from 2011 to 2018, just bleeding because of the Wii U and all that stuff that wasn't working for them. And the only thing that kept them afloat was their handhelds.
Right.
They don't have the biggest market share. I love Nintendo for what they are. I always have. I've always said it. Even when I worked at GameStop, people would ask me, but Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. It's like, listen, guys, like you want a powerhouse that's going to play all your like regular shooter games and whatnot, you'll buy an Xbox or a PlayStation. But if you're looking for like more intimately crafted video gaming experience for like Nintendo's where it's at. Nintendo's where it's always been at for that kind of stuff. They're very innovative. So I don't know what your thoughts are on like the Switch 2. What do you think they're going to do with it? Do you think they're going to blow the whole freaking thing up, or do you think they're going to stick with the handheld hybrid?
Yeah, from what I read, it's the Switch 2 is backwards compatible, which is good because Nintendo's made us rebuy Super Mario 64 too many times on DS, on Switch, on N64.
Oh yeah,
it's a bigger screen. I'm curious to see if they put better CPUs or a GPU in it. The Steam Deck has a pretty high end graphics card in it. I think Nintendo's unique where the IP and the story going back to the original Mario story just like is so unique that people aren't going to Nintendo for the best graphics, the best. I mean, you have Legend, you have Zelda, but like we still are going to play those games and people are going to love them because I don't know about you. That's the only console I play anymore. I can play games with my wife and family, like play Mario Golf or play Mario Party or whatever, Mario Kart. Like those are the only games that I know that you can still get in front of a screen and play together. So
Yeah.
I think the only difference they announced were bigger screen, different ways the handles connect, which, yeah, go for it. I actually had a question for
Joy-Con
you.
drift.
A
Yes.
lot of times on podcasts, people talk about their Pokemon backstory. I want to hear your console backstory.
Okay. So the first console I think I ever played was the NES. I was young.
Okay.
My father had one. I remember him. So he did the same thing I do now, ironworker. Rain days are a thing where you just don't work in the rain in the territory that I work in. So he would come home, and I remember him playing Punch Out, Mario, Mario 3. I got a little bit older. I started playing that. And then I got a Sega Genesis from, I think, a family friend with a ton of games. Altered Beast is one that I remember. There's a
Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage, but Altered Beast, for whatever, like, Streets of Rage is awesome. Just beating the shit out of people with pipes and bats and, nunchucks and whatever the hell you got. But Altered Beast was, there's a sound in it, and I swear that sound is in a Rob Zombie song. That Living Dead Girl, like the sound that's made at the beginning is the same sound that's in the game, and it always like wigged me out that was it. Then from there, I bought my cousin's Nintendo 64. Obviously, it had he didn't want it anymore. I think I bought the 64 for $50 with a ton of games, so score for me. I remember playing, I had all of them: Mario 64, Zelda, all that stuff. From there, I got a PlayStation. So yeah, I had a 64 first, then I went and got a PlayStation. So a little backwards. But then a PS2, and then from PlayStation, I kind of went to Xbox and just kind of stayed Xbox. Maybe hop back and forth with Nintendo, but I had Xbox and Nintendo. I always had a Nintendo system. There was always a Nintendo system around. Like, it's just the way it is. Really big in the, with the Xbox and the advent of Xbox Live and all that. Now, I know during our Box Nostalgia podcast, I think I may have said that Xbox Live came out during the 360, which it obviously didn't. But just because I remember playing so much Halo 2 on the 360, they all kind of melds together. But I remember playing Castle Wolfenstein on the Xbox when that first came out live, and like you're storming the beaches of Normandy, and it was just wild. Tons of Rainbow Six 3. Like a stupid amount of Rainbow Six 3. I was in clans as an 8th grade kid on teamcompete.com. I don't know if anyone remembers Team Compete, but that was a whole team. Dude, there were so many different teams, and you literally like meet up and have clan matches through that website, and it's scored through there, and then you have tournaments, and it was like so ahead of its time to get people together. Like, it was such a great way to bring people together and like have clans and whatnot. So like teamcompete.com is a throwback, like crazy throwback. Then once Halo 2 came out, like obviously ton of Halo 2. Then I got my 360 and just kept playing Halo 2. It was essentially until Halo 3 came out. Obviously played other games, but Halo 3 during the college years, like I didn't go to college. I tried a semester right out of basic training. Really wasn't my cup of tea. Stayed with GameStop for a little bit while until I became an ironworker. But Halo 3 was just so much fun. Like, I remember I worked the Halo 3 launch, the midnight launch for that. Worked midnight launches for World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King, like just like back when launches were something cool, and like people would come to the store, hand a ton
show
of
up at midnight.
Out. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Like, so cool. Like, I think Halo 3, I remember playing Halo 3 the night it came out, like working that night, coming home, loading it up, playing it all night long. Like, it was just so cool. Like, and stuff like that doesn't happen anymore. Like, things have changed so much in the gaming world. Like, there's really not midnight releases anymore. You just download the shit right to your hardware system. So yeah, tons of Halo 3, and then obviously it just kind of like continued, but like Xbox 360 was really where it was at for me. Like, that, I think, is my all-time favorite system.
That's cool. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no problem, man. How about yourself?
Very similar. I had a cousin that had an NES back in the day, so we'd play the Marios, the everything on there. A family friend had a Sega Genesis at the lake house, so we'd play the first level of Contra and die, Lion King and die.
Lion King was brutal.
That second, is it second level or third level?
And you couldn't get past those fucking wildebeest either. They just killed you. That's it. Game over.
Yeah, it was nuts. But from there, I think my first console was a Game Boy Color. I got Pokemon Red when we were going on a family trip. So same cousin helped me get to the Elite Four during our
That's
family
awesome.
vacation. N64 for Christmas with Banjo Kazooie. And then from there, I think we got a GameCube with Luigi's Mansion when that came out that year. And then from there, I think I bought a PlayStation 2 off eBay back in the day with a bundle set. My mom didn't want me holding on to anything rated M, but my dad kept letting me keep Grand Theft Auto 3.
Nice.
So I had that. Eventually switched into the Xbox and Xbox 360. We would play Halo and have LAN parties. We'd pull all the TVs together and get some network cables and try not to people and screen cheat against each other, even though we're across the room.
Dude, screen cheating's the only way to play games back in the day like that. You had to screen cheat.
Yeah, and I think from there, I sold a system and I bought a system. One thing I would like to do in the future, and I wish I did, was like actually keep my stuff. But I feel like it's the same thing with Pokemon cards. Like there's a lot of stuff I wish I had, but like the memories are there. So I think from there, we've talked about this like Xbox 360 in college, late high school. A lot of my friends were playing World of Warcraft. I was a pleb and I wasn't playing Endgame, but I started playing, Endgame during Wrath of the Lich King and actually rated like hard mode through Cataclysm, but kind of stopped after that when got a little bit more serious with school and life. And now I jump on Hearthstone every once in a while just to mess around or play the Switch with the wife and family.
Yeah, they have that new World of Warcraft. The War Within is the new expansion that's coming out. So I think it has everything to do with like Azeroth as a Titan god, which is awesome. I mythic rated in Legion, Argus. How was Ice Crown Citadel rating that?
I got carried through. I
Nice.
just hit level cap, so like I was just learning how to raid and how to like avoid the AOE and all the steps during Ice Crown.
It takes so much time, and then once you get to like mythic rating, it's so cutthroat. It's almost not fun. You have to constantly grind. Like you're running, especially now, like you're running mythic keys to make sure that you hit your chest every week at a certain level so you can stay in your rating groups. So it's literally a second job. Like you come home and like you're on it playing
3-4 hour shifts rating, and then all the weeklies, the dailies.
I'll do it, and it just becomes so monotonous, and I think not super fun. I mean, I had a great time with it while I was playing with it. Like I really did love Endgame Legion. Like had a lot of fun with that. Played oh man, crap! What was the next one? Battle for Azeroth was the next one. That was great, and then Shadowlands came after that, and I think the most recent one is Dragonflight, whatever it was. So they're just still pumping expansions out. I wish there was like, and I know they like release vanilla and they release classic and all that to like bring it back to what it was like when you had to level up your weapon skills, like staffs. You need to like smack the shit out of boards with the staff so you could like wield this, which was awesome. So WoW was cool back in the day. It's like you said, like just being an adult and having a family, and it's just not very conducive to family life.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I see my brother in the chat calling me out for screen cheating. I forgot back in the day we had a computer and we played a couple games like CS:GO. We play all the time in this game called Guns that was basically like PvP inside this room with guns and swords where you could like bounce off the walls by like switching between like sword and knife and stuff like that. So
I remember that game. I know that.
And my brother was a beast. He was like 3 or 4 years younger than me, and we would like go back and forth. Like we had a 30-hour timer. But yeah, that game was sick.
Like anime style, correct? Oh yeah, I remember that game. I didn't play it a lot. I had a buddy in high school that played it, and he was fucking deep in it. And you just bounce around like mad and freaking crush people. He really did like that. Wow, it's interesting you brought that up. I haven't thought about that game in forever. We used to, so like high school, when I was in high school, we used to play Urban Terror was a game that we played. It was kind of like Counter-Strike-ish, but we play Urban Terror, and we had a kid in our class who just did not give a fuck. And it was in our HTML class, I think it was. And the one day he just comes in and he puts the game on and he starts playing. And the teacher comes over and is like, "What are you doing?" And he literally stood up out of his chair. This dude was like 6'6" and just screamed "Free Day" at her, and then sat back down and started playing again. And we all played video games the rest of the day because the teacher gave up. It was great. It was just like a great moment.
Yeah, the clans at that phase when you had cross game clans and group of people just sitting in a chat was awesome, especially at that age where like things were starting to shift to virtual. It's so different than it is now, but I digress.
That's so much different, so much freaking different.
We could talk about games for hours, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. We got more tag stuff here though. E-unit concept tags awesome, execution and the PRBS they're already pulling is questionable. Jumping back and forth between lives. Yeah, so I figured that's what people were going to end up doing. I know there's some heat going on with Slab Podcast and Mr. Dan Catchmall Collectibles is over there. So I think we're going to be wrapping up in a little bit to try and catch the back end of that too.
Yeah,
let's see. Beerski cooking with gas now. Poke Chef. Like hearing about Poke Chef about this. I think the focus should be on Tag's reaction to this. Like I said, I think every company has their flaws. We're seeing small companies first one. So far, like Tag's reaction, except them reaching out people other than Shiz. Yeah. All right.
True.
Let's see. Grading. Keep grading. It is especially knowing the value. Man, there's so much Tag going on. Tag is in so many DMs. I think they should go live and offer more transparency on the topic of their company. If Nat can, I would hope they can. Maybe I'll reach out to the CEO of Tag Grading and try and bring him on this channel, Chef. How about you help me out in tandem that one?
There you go.
E-unit. When I F up at work, I go to my customer hat in hand and make it right. Don't just say my bad and then buy them lunch. I love this hobby. I love this hobby too, Chef. It is the best thing that's happened to me in a long time, other than my wife and child, obviously. But this hobby's filled a big hole in my life, for sure.
Agreed.
Welcome, Leafstone Cards. Tag his ass in a suit.
He said, "Yeah, AGS in a suit."
Oh,
AGS was the last robo grading company.
That
tried to make a splash.
That's the one that Gary King was rolling around with, right? He was sending stuff to that. I think.
I'm not sure.
Let's see. Freaky ass pre-girders in here. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if someone in here is mushroom stamping before they submit their cards. I was literally just watching a Tom Segura comedy, and he goes, "First thing I do is go up and wipe my balls on the blinds of my hotel room because they never change those." And he goes, "And I want you to think about the next time you open up your hotel blinds." So yeah, people do weird shit, and I wouldn't doubt it. Let's see. And Bierski, top 5 best IPAs you've had. Oh shit. All right. Well, I'm gonna say Heady Topper and Sip of Sunshine are definitely in there. IPAs, man. There's so many IPAs. I'm gonna switch it up and not go IPAs. There was a barley wine that I had years ago called Boo Goop. It was a McKellar collaboration. It was the best like port wine beer like I've ever had. It was our barley wine beer I've ever had. It was so freaking good. I would put that in my top 5 beers of all time. Man, I have a hard time ranking stuff like top 5s because it all depends on the mood and like what I'm tasting that day. It's just so hard. Like definitely Heady Topper, Focal Bangers up there too. Sip of Sunshine. Like I said, the McKellar Boo Goop that I've had one time. There was a filthy black IPA from Brooklyn Brewing Company called Black Ops. That was fantastic too. Black IPA. It was so good. I'm a big fan of black IPAs. Not the biggest fan of stouts, but I am. Those are some of them.
I think I've had the one from Rogue
Brewing Company. Yeah, they have a black IPA as well. Rogue's got a lot of good stuff. Rogue and Stone, both. You should S tier. Let's see. Did I miss something here? No, I did not. All right, Super NES is the real S tier. Also, PlayStation creation backstory is so epic. Well, so the Super NES almost fucking bankrupted Nintendo because they came to market too late, and Sega Genesis marketing was so aggressive. And went back to the point when they brought up like the Sega thing and like the screaming Sega, I forgot about that. Like when it wasn't like the old school Sega anymore, and it was like Sega. Like I forgot completely about that ad
Hmm.
campaign at all. And that dude, it brought so many like emotions and like thoughts back to that. It was so awesome.
Do you have like a favorite video game song or soundtrack or something that's just like this is the one?
Uh so song from a video game is,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I think it's the board Dolo Fire, whatever that one is. That's the most fire little awesome. I used to like just love sitting there and playing the ocarina and playing that song over and over and over again. I really did like it. Um, Other than that, though, like soundtrack from a game.
Or just like you shared just like a song from a game like that that
Yeah, like
sticks out to you.
that one's like the most nostalgic one for me. Like I love that. Like put on my little fire suit and then play that. Like that was the shit. Song of Storms was awesome too. How about you?
I got something to send you after this. It's a quartet that's playing all the Zelda music. It's cool.
What?
I
Yes,
think
please.
yeah, I mean Zelda music is awesome. Like the Halo tune is
Yeah.
awesome. I was thinking about there was a Sonic game for Sega Dreamcast that was like Sonic Battle Network 2 or something like that. And it started out where you were like Sonic going down a hill on a skateboard. And they had this song that's like a little like catchy tune. I think it's called Escape the City, but it's just cool. They have it on some of the most recent Super Smash Bros. If you play the Sonic map. So
Oh,
it's cool.
nice.
It's a cool song.
I will say that Scarlet and Violet's battle song slaps hard, man. Some of the music in Scarlet and Violet, I think the best part of the game is the music. Sony had some gangsters work for them back in the day. Yeah. Nintendo dipped on Sony, and Sony was so mad they kept going in Black Project and made the PlayStation to dunk on them. Yeah, so that's what it was. They were supposed to do the 64-bit system with Sony, and then Nintendo screwed them, and then Sony became a fucking juggernaut. They had to build like 3 massive CD-ROM facilities to keep what the PlayStation came to, man. They literally invented the CD, so they were already huge. Amazing business story. They did the same thing with the Blu-ray. Like Sony did a good job with creating like media that was used. The Blu-ray, the biggest one. Like I remember just buy a PlayStation 3 to have a Blu-ray player that was cheaper than a
Right.
Blu-ray player. So that was like the most smart marketing scheme by Sony ever, was doing that and making the optic drive on a PS3, a Blu-ray player. And like I remember when the Dark Knight came out.
That was such a good movie.
Such a good movie. And on Blu-ray, like listen, working at GameStop, rolling in the fucking dough. I had a sweet TV.
Got to
I had the
priority.
blue. Oh yeah, I was playing video games. Like I need the best TV. I had a Samsung, so I bought the same TV that was on the display for the Xbox 360 at the store. It was a Samsung, like
Cool.
25-inch something. I loved it. I freaking loved it. Yeah, definitely listen to the Acquired Pod if you haven't. It's very good listen to. What's your favorite video game of all time and your favorite now, Danzard? That's from Skater Nesto.
Favorite video game of all time probably has to be either the first Halo or I really like CS:GO. Um, right now, like I can't get myself to play video games. Like I spend 8 hours plus a day on the computer, so if I'm staring at a screen, I usually don't want to be like active doing so. That's why Discord and YouTube is awesome. I still play a little bit of Hearthstone. I'll hop on there and just play because you can jump on and leave. And I love playing Mario Kart. If anyone wants to battle, I'm not that good, but Mario Kart's fun. Yeah,
Right on. Why Halo 1? What
I, I just like the first you had just like the regular single player mode where you'd go through and the story was just so epic. Yeah.
So
Did they
epic.
have the zombie one where you had the creatures coming after you in the first one in the
Yeah,
dark room?
the flood.
The
Yeah,
flood, the flood. Like that was sick. And then just like I think that going into Halo 2
that was the map
where
Guilty
like
Spark, where you go in like the swamp and you go down.
mhm.
Fuck yeah, dude, so
Yeah.
awesome. Truth and Reconciliation, where you have the sniper rifle and you're boarding their ship. Like the Halo
Yeah.
One
So
was, dude,
sick.
it was sick.
Yeah. And those big ass Xbox controllers
The
that were
Duke,
like,
baby.
dude, I had one of the those green see-through ones. I think it was a Halo edition.
Yeah,
Yeah, that like I don't know. Like I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when the Xbox 360 came out, you could link cable the Xbox with the Xbox 360 and play games together. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I just remember
I don't know
at
if you
that
could
time.
or not.
I don't know.
Maybe you might possibly been able to. I know the system was backwards compatible, but I don't know
Yeah.
if you could do it that way. I know you could play Xbox Live with someone who was on an Xbox, and you could have a 360, and it was fine.
Yeah, my memory's not that good, but like that was like just a community game. Like we all got together, we all played, we do split screen, we played the Halo series online. So like I loved all the games we played like in the online clans that we had. There was like a MMO called Face of Mankind that was just some little MMO that was had its own little you know, monetary system similar to WoW or RuneScape, but
Okay.
I just think go back to those days when you didn't have anything you had to do. So what were you doing? You're playing games with the
Playing
friends.
game.
You were shooting the shit. So
I used to come home for football practice and play for like 5 to 6 hours after that. Now I want to come home and go to bed. Like that's
yeah,
almost like, my wife is like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to bed. And I was like, all right, well, I'll be in bed at like 12 o'clock tonight. I love you, baby. And that
yeah,
happens more, it's rarer and rarer every day now. Like I'm just trying
yeah.
to,
Typically, when I'm doing that now, I spend 2 hours spending money on the internet on Pokemon cards.
yeah. And that's really, so that's kind of what happened to me too. Like now my free downtime, like I'll play games, everyone. Like I play Halo with Ponga like once a
Oh,
week or
cool.
maybe twice a week. Um, but like it's been a lot of like just sourcing stuff or just looking at stuff and trying to stay current with everything. And that's really like,
Right.
catching up on Discord and all that. uh I'm hyped for Switch 2. I think they're going to play it safe. I'm hoping they do. I mean, format already works, so let's keep it going. NES World Championship Edition coming out for Switch is dope. WC carts for us poor people. Oh, World Championship Edition, that sounds awesome. I didn't even know about that. Awesome. Nintendo all day. My first system was the Sega Game Gear, and that thing was a weapon of mass destruction. Dude, it was so, I couldn't get the games out of the back of the system when I was a kid. So to like switch games, like it took a while. My tiny little Kevin hands couldn't do it. Like just couldn't do it. So my father would get them out real quick for me. But dude, that thing, you would kill someone with that thing. Yeah, they are putting an NVIDIA GPU in it. It should do like upscaling. Oh, that's cool.
That is cool. I didn't see that, Leaf. If you're still here,
Yeah,
send me a
Leaf.
DM about
That's
that.
really freaking awesome, dude. Let's see. We got Peak in here. Game Gear, SNES, GameCube, Game Boy. That's my gaming history in a nutshell. Let's see. Game Boy Color, PS2. I wish I still had my Game Boy Color. I never owned a GameCube until I had a GameCube, but it wasn't until like afterwards.
I
That's a
think I
hell of a,
told you I still have one of those Game Boy Micros. Those things were
dude, the
weird
micros
and
are just,
cool.
I love the micro. Like that was
I,
such, again, that's when everything was getting really small. And then like 3 years after that, small wasn't cool anymore.
the
Big
little
was cool.
phones.
Yeah, little
Yeah,
phones.
I might have bought it from you. I was visiting family in PA. We went up to the shore in New Jersey, Delaware to go fish and camp, and we bought it at some GameStop in a shopping mall somewhere between PA and New Jersey, Delaware.
Perfect. Hey man, listen, it could have been me. The micro was awesome. I had such a great time playing the micro system. Yeah, that's when Samsung was making fun of or Apple for having a small or a big, too big of a phone. And then like 2 years later,
Look
like,
at us now.
Apple, your phone's so small. Like, look how big our phone is, and now we just have massive phone. Midnight releases so awesome back in the day. They sure were, Chef. Lining up at GameStop and racing home to play for hours with the homies, for sure. Like the blockbuster weekends. Yeah. I worked at Best Buy from 2006 to 2013, and the night before midnight releases, we'd open the games and play expensive TVs all night after store closed. Yeah, we did shit like that
That's
too.
awesome.
I used to blast Metallica Master of Puppets album when at GameStop, like the last half hour, just to like rock through. Like I used to love doing shit like that. We would play stuff on the systems in the store too, because you can open them up. The like little kiosks that they had, always open them up and put whatever we wanted in there. Adam went, oh, this is your brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yelling at your buddy for screen cheating when you're doing it yourself. Or was that just me? I was also number 3 in the world in leaderboard of Geometry Wars. If anyone, oh, dude, Geometry Wars was a sweet game, dude. So cool. Carpal tunnel simulator. I played the re-release version and it is unplayable to play against all the grinders. And yeah, dude, insane. Beerskis, that's the last solid Sekiro stand-up. It's all downhill from here. Dude, that stand-up was hysterical. Like when he talks about oh man, Scared Straight, and he's just like explaining like them watching Scared Straight, and he screams bikes and talks about like all the shit that's going on. If you haven't seen it, you need to look up that stand-up. Yeah, McKellar has killer milkshake IPAs. So I'm not a big fan of milkshake IPAs, Peak. I'm not a big hazy IPA guy either. I'm more of just that. I don't know. There's something about the mouthfeel of some of them that just don't do it for me.
I'll have to try that Peak. I do like those more hazy, more interesting IPAs.
Yeah, McKellar's they're great. They, like I said, they have a lot of cool shit up, or a lot of cool shit out. Watched him on the Tom Brady roast and did seem very stiff. Great show though. Yeah, Tom Brady going up to Jeff Ross and telling him not to say that shit again about Robert Kraft was, I think, all time awesome. Let's see. Black Ops has a cool bottle for sure. Peaks' Halo theme song or Call of Duty Zombie Piano are all time favorites. Mr. Walrus, Bolero Fire. Thank you. And I am a rookie, but that is it. I'm glad to see you in here, Mr. Walrus. GameCube system's iconic. Welcome to the jungle. GTA San Andreas always hits.
Oh, yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 3, though, had some of the funniest one-take, like their radio stations. Oh, man.
Did they not license music there?
Yeah, I don't think they had licensed music then, but it was just like them, like their like little joke things, like ain't no thing but a chicken wing and a big black booty on your lap. I remember that one, just cracks me up. That one cracks me up the most. So many little like jingle one hitters, and you would just laugh as you were playing the game. Like they were just all good. Killer Instinct theme song also. I can't believe I forgot about that one. Amazing covers on YouTube. Oh man, there's just people talking in here. You guys are the best tonight. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I do appreciate it.
For hanging out.
Killer Instinct 64, one of the best fighting games of all time. That's got Clayman in it, right? Kind of looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy. A little bit. The star shooting game across Game Freak logo and the gold and silver has me weak. Walrus, I couldn't like you more right now. Haha, Killer Instinct's great time. So awesome. I swear until this day, I'm still salty that they left my boy Cinder off of it. Man, they're loving that. Skater Nessa, well, dude, people love themselves some Killer Instinct. Cinder was a scrub character, Peak. Glacius was my boy. Specials were easy. Let's see what we got here. Oh, dude, SOCOM Navy SEALs was the first FPS that crushed before Halo. So that was fun. I played SOCOM on, I think the PlayStation 2 before it was just like you plugged in like DSL into it. It wasn't even, I don't even know if it was Ethernet. It may have just been a phone line. But I played some SOCOM, I think 2 on there. Yeah, using the commands through the mic on SOCOM was all real when it came out. Yeah, SOCOM and I think Ghost Recon did that as well with the commands. And I think maybe Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six also did it. Fugalore Special were sick. Let's see. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Oh, man, dude.
I never stuck around with the fighting games. I played Tekken back. Tekken 2 was the last fighting game I probably played. At some point in college, we played one of the Mortal Kombats, I think. But
I played Street Fighter 4 when I worked at GameStop. We held a tournament for it, and these dudes were crazy. But fighting games really not for me. Like I like games like I mean they're technically not fighting games, but I guess like God of War and shit like that. They're not fighting, but I was just recently thinking there was Wolverine X-Men's Origin video game was awesome. For anyone who hasn't played it, that was a really great game. And Marvel, what was that? I'm trying to think. He had like 4 characters on the screen at once. They all use different attacks. Ultimate Universe, maybe it was Marvel Ultimate Universe.
Was it kind of the Final Fantasy style?
Yeah, it was cool. You run it. It was pretty awesome.
RPG.
Let's see what we got. All right, we're about to finish up with chat here. Let's see. Let's go. Yeah, dude. Killer Instinct for SCS English exclusive. Yes, there you bikes, dude. He's like, grab my pocket, bitch. Like it's fucking hysterical. The kid's got like, I forget what t-shirt the kid has on too. It's the most unintimidating t-shirt ever. Peak. That's hysterical, man. Skater, what's your favorite game historically and now? It's called Mostly Stories. Yeah, dude, it's so funny. Hard question, man, but probably Street Fighter 4. I played that so much. There you go. Metroid NES. Mario Kart, I don't know. But you got to pick one of them, Skater Nesta. You can't have 3.
I'll choose Mario Kart for you.
I'm clapping Beerski Chiefs at... Dude, you're going to fuck me up. I'm clapping Beerski Cheeks at Street Fighter 4. Set it up live on Pokey Flips. Dude, you'll kick the shit out of me in that game. Yeah, Chef would love to see it. Question, did you know that water is a chemical? Well, actually, don't be dumb, all right, Walrus?
You're cute.
I see this clown in here talking. Yeah, obviously water is a chemical. Don't be dumb, okay?
But spit is clear.
Spit is clear. Spit's good. Set it up on Box Nostalgia. We can do that. At my local beer bar, I entered a Mortal Kombat X tournament and had to beat like a 12 or so people. The last person was a girl who organized it and I ended up with brutality with the cheers. Yeah, good for you. Walrus, don't get cute. Should I not be dumb? I don't know. Ask Nat Turner. He'll let you know. Well, I challenged Chef to a cook-off live on Rusty's channel. Set it up. That chick was pissed. Well, we're at the end of chat. We're just shy of 2 hours. This was a fun chat, Dan. I really appreciate you coming on, man. Like, this was so awesome. Thank you for being here tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Thanks for trusting some random dude from Discord not to come on and be... I mean, I probably was a complete goober, but yeah, it was awesome to be able to talk. And
no, you weren't a goober. What the hell are you talking about, dude? I just, again, I like highlighting people that have been in the Discords and that we've chatted with, and it's just great putting faces to names and seeing people like and talking to people. So I really appreciate being here, man. Great stuff, dude. We just got to keep on keeping on with this kind of stuff, this content. I love talking video games with you, so let's just keep that rolling.
Yeah, everyone in the chat, if you haven't joined Beerski's Pub, jump in there. I know Drew dropped a link earlier, but let's all get in the payphone lobby and hang out and shoot the shit and hang out.
Yeah, hell yeah, people. That'd be awesome. I hope everyone has themselves a good night tonight. Safe rest of the week. Have a safe weekend, and I'll catch you next week on episode 7 of Box Nostalgia Podcast with Ponga and special guests yet to be announced. Have a good night, everyone. Great night.
See ya.